So, I have returned once again today to do what appears to be the very last episode of Gintama this season, episode 12 or 328. And as we goddamn know, it's getting way too serious. Like it's got to the point of like, whoa, okay, oh, all right. My feelings all destroyed, not coming back at all. I'm still kind of reading over yesterday and the day before. It's just everything. It's just I don't know anymore. I don't know what to feel. I don't want to feel. And now we might just be getting some more information of what might be going on with Shoyo. I was like, you know what? Not too shabby. Want to know more about that? I want to know more about the inner workings of Shoyo or Utsuroda's case. Like, it's just such an interesting concept. Like, his whole entire character is so fascinating that you just want to know more about it. So that any information you get given, you're like, I like it. I want more of it. Please just go forth and give me more. So hopefully Obro does dish out all of the information we want this week. Well, and that also being the final episode, because I believe after this it goes into reruns before it actually goes into the very last arc. I was like, you know what? Good job. Did not want to go into the very last arc straight away because that could be very, 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 very bad, in my opinion, to go straight into it while the manga's still going. So at least it's not. But anyway, so enough talk. Let's actually see whether or not YouTube is actually trabajando correctly. I believe it is. I believe YouTube is not dying today. Hopefully it won't. Right, so anyway, let's actually bring this over here. Because I thought this was coming out an hour earlier because good old Crunchyroll was telling me, oh yeah, by the way, Gintama's coming out at 6:35 BST. I was like, okay, so it's kind of an hour earlier because in England, I don't know about anywhere else, all the clocks have gone forward, I think. Yeah, forward. So we lose an hour. So everything's just gone completely haywire on the internet because everything's just not the right time anymore. So I thought this was coming out an hour earlier, but then it wasn't coming out. I was like, what's going on here? Something gone wrong? Is Crunchyroll dying? I'm not too sure. But no, it came out normal time. I was like, all right, thanks for that. Thanks for that. Thank you. Like, it just terrified me so much. I was like, I thought I might not see Gintama finish today. But anyway, enough talk. Let's actually get on with this. So, in 3, 2, 1, let's begin. Hold on, move this over here ever so slightly more. Yeah, everything's working fine. See my audio is working. So it starts in 3, 2, 1. Let's begin. I still can't get over his backstory. It broke my heart completely. Starting with the ending. Did he do it last season as well? Now that I'm kind of thinking about it, I swear last season. Yeah, it did. Yeah, it did. I remember that because I was crying. I was gonna say I remember that completely fondly because I was crying my eyes out during it. So it's fine. I do remember that. I was gonna say start with the ending. I believe the opening was the actual ending. I believe, if I remember correctly. I think the ending's slightly grown on me now because I wasn't the biggest fan of it originally. I was like, it's alright. But I think it's got to the point of being really freaking catchy that I really like it. I was like, yeah, you know what? Good job. Even the opening's gone to the point I really freaking like it as well. It's one of those openings you just don't mind listening to. Oh man, say goodbye to the series again today. It's kind of one of those things you're like, just it's one of those things you can't say goodbye to Gintama just yet. You just got it back. You're like, don't do this to me, anime. And it's just like, it's doing it to me now. You're like, why? Why do you forsake me in this way? Gintama's not my favorite series. Just don't let it go away again. I didn't know what to do with myself after 2015 ended. Now this is actually ending today. I'm like, what do I do with myself again? What is there? I was quite like the fact. Hello, that the episode's called Hope. I thought it's actually quite nice. All right. Damn. There's an episode title about the devils, I remember correctly as well. Damn, it's actually really nicely animated. It's like a painting. It's so beautiful. Everything comes full circle. Uh, that that was pretty heavy actually. The more I think about it, that's extremely heavy. Like, geez, farewell to me because after that, oh man, no, no. Ooh. Oh god, he's doing that. Oh no. I hate when people do this. I've seen it so many goddamn times. It just still disturbs me. Don't take your hands out of there. Ew, no. At least I didn't. At least I didn't have to see it. It's a good thing. Oh man. This is really freaking fascinating. Holy crap! I love this man. At the same time, I hate him. So goddamn cool. Oh man. That's what makes Zoro such a great villain. I love him. In some ways, it's like congratulations, you played yourself, kind of thing. So that's why at the beginning of the show he said that we won't need you ever again. Makes sense now. Oh god, that's the sound of my heart broken again. Oh god, here it comes again. The tears again. Hopero broke my heart twice. Oh man, who would have thought that Obro would have broken my heart twice? And what to think about it, all the stuff they've heard this whole entire series is like, oof. Oh god, my eyes are welling up. The whole entire section just kind of got a bit too much. Oh, ow, that's painful. Heart's still breaking a little bit. Still feeling it. Gintama knows when to actually kind of make me just kind of start tearing up a little bit. Like, knows when to do it perfectly. Oh man, perfect. Can't argue with the episode at all. I think it's perfect setup and a perfect conclusion to the whole entire season as well. I think, I think it worked better if it just finished here and didn't actually continue and just left it for a little while and then came back. I think the more I look at it now, because the way it just did everything just now, you kind of respect how it did it. I don't know, it was good. I loved it. So glad it came back for a bit because it was one of those series you just didn't want to say goodbye to. And then now you got to say goodbye to it again, but still you kind of respect what they gave you because they gave you such great material. I mean, just this episode alone, freaking hell. Was probably one of the best episodes of the whole entire series for me. It just floored me a lot. It did 51 in 2015 a little bit as well, but making me kind of well up a lot as well because 51 of 2015 just broke me completely. So yeah, it was a fine ass series or season in this case. Actually, the more I think about it, oh man, good job, Gintama. Oh, it didn't put the thing on the end because they were gonna announce something at the end of the episode, but they didn't do it. Crunchyroll's done it again because Crunchyroll did it with Sangatsu as well because Sangatsu had a season 2 announcement at the end, and it didn't. I think just fell down. That would be problematic if I actually were to hit that even more. So let's move that over there. Because at the end of Sangatsu, there's a season 2 announcement. They didn't actually include it. At the end of this one, they were going to announce the fact that actually there was going to be a recap like section, which was weird. It didn't actually didn't include that, but it's Crunchyroll, I guess. What do you expect? Something to do that. Sometimes they do tend to do that. But okay. All right, let's talk about the whole entire series as a whole, like this season basically. It was surprising. That was one of the major things because I mean, I was expecting quite a lot going into this arc. So I was told a lot about, wasn't told what happens in it, but I was told there's a lot going on in this arc. But I think this arc floored me for what it actually really did and what it actually meant as well, because it did have a heavy meaning behind it. That's what I quite liked about it, because the whole entire season for me, when you look at it, kind of just, it was more of a character study than anything else when you think about it. It was more just kind of just telling you how each character got from where they were to where they are now and how they progressed since then. And it's kind of one of those things I respect because you saw it of every single character basically, how they went from where they were at the beginning of the series to where they are now, because this really was a pinnacle point. Like, this really was one of those points in the series you're just like, freaking hell, like, this is what we needed, because it just told you where they were, where they are now, and how they're going to progress in the future, how they have been influenced by everyone else around them. That's why I quite liked about it. It's one of the major things I take away from the series and actually loved it for that reason. because you saw it with Gintoki. So you have to respect the man because he's probably the greatest shonen protagonist in the history of the universe. Like he is literally, because you just saw where he was and where he is now, and see how much he's actually progressed. You can just see it. It's so evident in his character and the way that he speaks and the creed he lives by. You can see it just there. And it's just so amazing. I mean, you saw it with Kamui and Kagura. That was one of the pinnacle points. Like you just saw within those two characters how they've actually kind of grown and how they've grown so differently compared to each other. You really do get to see it, and I kind of love it because you got to see how something has kind of eaten away at Kamui and how it actually kind of influenced him for the future, and this kind of pent up hatred. But you saw it with Kagura, and Kagura has kind of been influenced by the family around her, and she doesn't really kind of have really think about it any kind of angst. She doesn't really have anything in her that kind of it just kind of is like unjust, if you get what I mean. It's just nothing like that at all. She's completely like amazing, because you saw it in the very final moments when she was with Kamui. You saw it just then, because when they were kind of going into each other, you're like, oh, they might go and punch each other and then it might end like that. It might just fall to the ground. But no, it never ended like that. It ended with her hugging him. You kind of saw at that point how much of a great character she is, how much she has actually grown, and how much characters around have influenced her. It's freaking phenomenal. Like it's one of those things. It just completely floored me. Like how much you just kind of saw all the characters progress and how you saw them grow and how you saw it just come full circle in this season. You have to just love it, because it's one of those things. It's amazing. It's just so freaking great. And I can't understand why everyone was criticizing it for the fact that Kamui fought Gintoki as well, because apparently that's what I was reading. People were saying that they didn't kind of like the fact that Gintoki fought Kamui, but when you actually kind of look into the meaning behind the whole entire series, which really much was for me family, what family means to people, how people influence each other, as the whole entire thing with the characters, kind of feeds back into that. But when you think about it, as I said before, and I've said it quite often, the fact is he fought him because then it allows him not to fight a family member. It allows him to actually kind of quell that anger you might have towards a family. Allow that relationship to actually kind of grow up and actually become something great, if you get what I mean. That's what that kind of fight meant. It wasn't as if they were kind of copping out and just kind of not allowing Kagura to fight Kamui. No, it wasn't that at all. It was much more than that. It was a fight to allow the family to come back together, and allow the family to actually grow, not to become what it was beforehand. And I think it was actually very much shown in the very last scene as well with Kagura and Uvozu. It was very much shown in there as well, like how, when you think about it, it might just kind of slowly go back to where it was in the past. It might just kind of blossom once again, if you get what I mean. To use the allegory of the flowers, it might just blossom. That's why I kind of like the fight, because when you think about it, each fight in this whole entire series meant something, or in this season as well. And this whole entire season, each fight meant something. It meant something to the character. It meant something to how each characters work. That's why I kind of liked about it, because each fight just did that perfectly. Because you had it with Gintoki versus Kamui, because in some cases Gintoki actually sympathized with Kamui because they might have come from the exact same place in the past. And Siri just turned on. No, Siri, don't you dare. Wrong button. There we are. Siri's turned on. But yeah, that's what I kind of liked about it. Same thing with Oboro versus Takasugi. Just one of those things, you just kind of liked it. And then even throughout the whole entire series, during those very, 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 very big fights, we got so much backstory that just gave us so much more context on all the characters, especially every single person's relationship as well. Like, we got so much more about it. We got so much more how each character like kind of feels to one another and how they work. It's just one of those things I kind of loved about it as well. I say that quite often because I just respect the series so goddamn much. Because it just does everything goddamn perfectly. Like it's one of those series. Excuse me. My throat's going weird again. It's one of those series you really just can't fault because of what it does, because it just does it so freaking perfectly. You just have to respect it so much. But yeah, I wish the fact is that next week I come back and another episode's on, but I actually have no idea what's going on with Gintama next week, and whether or not we actually do another episode, or Crunchyroll's not actually kind of streaming the kind of the actual recap episodes. But yeah, I mean, all in all, I can't say I'm disappointed. I'm actually completely floored, because even that last episode with Utsuro as well, you just got to know more about his character. In essence, sometimes you kind of, in a way, sympathize with him because he had that immortality, and people kind of constantly just did all these things. And you just kind of just sitting there going, that's still really freaking depressing. Like, yeah, the character right now is not the greatest person in the universe, but where you see it beforehand, it undemonizes him slightly, if you get what I mean. It adds a bit more edge to his character. He's not just doing what he's doing for the sake of doing it. But we got that already. We'd got beforehand why he's fighting. We actually felt it was genuine, why he might have been fighting. Don't agree with it completely, but we understand it. He feels realistic towards the world itself, and also towards a villain as a whole entire idea. But to get his episode and actually understand where he came from, what happened, and where he is now, you actually got to see that it kind of almost, in certain cases in the past, undemonizes him. Like, now he's not the greatest person in the world because he's a literal boob, but you just got to see that. Same thing happened with Oboro as well. We got that whole entire thing of where he came from in the past and where he is now. You actually it added so much more to his character, added so much more to Utsuro's character, or in this case, Shoyo's character as well. It's one of the things that gets a little bit confusing to actually kind of like decipher it, but you know what I mean. It's one of those things, and actually kind of understand how Utsuro works. It's remarkable. It was fascinating because it's one of those things. I loved it. Like, you got to understand how he works, or how he actually kind of functions. It's kind of cool in a way. Like, it's one of those things that you kind of sit there going, wow, that's actually kind of cool. And how he actually kind of just played that whole entire place as well. I just kind of love it. I was sat there and go, you know what? I can't be angry with you because that's actually freaking phenomenal. Like, you just did that, and I can't be angry at you. I'm not meant to like you, but you, sir, are a good villain. Like, that's what I kind of like about Gintama as a whole, because the villain just feels real. Like, he just feels as if you actually understand he's there. He actually doesn't feel like he's just in the corner just going, ha ha ha, I will kill everyone on this planet and then assume world domination. Like, he's not that, because he actually has a purpose why he's there, why he's fighting. Like, it's just one of those things that I actually kind of like about him. He's realistic in that case. He's just he beats out most shonen villains, because a lot of them tend to fall into the pitfall of just kind of doing it for the sake of doing it, but he feels as if like he's realistic. You can feel as if he's actually a real villain. He has a reason behind why he's doing it. He's not just doing it for the sake of doing it, if you get what I mean. That's what I kind of like about him. He's a bit more realistic. So I can't be angry at him. Though I not meant to like him, though his past bit was kind of depressing, and it kind of did allow me to sympathize 10% with him. But still, I kind of liked it. I thought, you know what? Good job, because I like it when the series does that. Like, it just kind of throws a curveball at you completely. Like, whoa, freaking hell. Like, whoa. And then you're kind of like, okay, so what do I think now about this character? Oh yeah, now I know what he's doing. No meant to like him very much. Like, that's what I like about it, because it gave you that, but you understand at that point that you're still not meant to like him because of what he's doing right now. But it was kind of depressing, because when you think about it, when Shoyo took over, he did everything so they actually have a fighting chance against Utsuro, because he knew that maybe at one point he won't be there anymore. So he has to kind of construct something to actually allow them to fight him and actually allow them to actually take him down. I actually quite like that, because it's one of those things that he knew that maybe, like, I myself won't be able to defeat him. I myself aren't strong enough to take down Utsuro inside myself. So I got to construct something to actually allow everyone else to kind of have some hope. And that school was the hope. Though Oboro did plant the idea, it's kind of one of those things you like how it all just kind of came together, and how it all just kind of pieced together into one massive like puzzle that was just so freaking satisfying. Like, it's just one of those things. I kind of loved it. Loved it. It's the main word I use for Gintama. I just love it. Like, it's so cool. But I mean, I wanna say next week another episode comes out, but probably not. I don't think it will. I know they're going into the past episodes and remaking them, so I don't think we're gonna get any more for a long while. I think probably once the manga's over, they will come back. So probably around about a couple of years, I'd say, maybe even a year. I wasn't expecting this arc this soon as well, so that's actually kind of surprising. But yeah, I think I liked everything. That's the major thing. I don't think there was one episode in this whole entire series which I didn't actually kind of not enjoy. Every single episode had something that you took away from it, that you actually kind of just said, you know what, that was worthwhile. Like, and in the whole entire series, how it ended and how it set up the whole entire last arc, you just like, yeah, it was all worth it. It was one of those things that you just kind of, it's not one of those pitfalls that sometimes certain shows tend to fall into of not very much goes on, and you kind of sitting there going, what was the point? Like, this one just had so freaking much going on. You're like, yeah, I like it. It's satisfying. It's amazing. I love it. I mean, just out of everything, we got all four of them together. That was just the pinnacle point in my life. Just having those two. So my brain's kind of going a bit weird. Lack of sleep's kind of getting to me now. But no, I mean, all four of them together. It was the highlight of my whole entire year so far, because it's one of those things I've been waiting for to actually kind of see it materialize on the screen. It's like, yes. Why weren't you there sooner? But I'm so glad you're there now. Like, it's just one of those things. It's just once Takasugi woke up, I was like, yes, it's coming. It's coming. And when it came, I was like, you did it for me, Gintama. You broke me to pieces, but you still did it for me still. And it was one of those things that it's a hype moment. That's what it is, the hype moment. And it's so freaking good because of it. But man, I just really want to see where it goes next. Like, I don't want to read the manga because I want to kind of keep to the anime, but it's just kind of eating away at me. So I want to see what happens next, because it's one of those things, because I've seen the trailer, so they've kind of animated certain bits of it, because I know Shinsengumi come back, like, because it was in the trailer. I was like, hey, wait a second, is that who I think it is? Is that Gorilla himself? Is that him? Is it him? It was him. I was screaming. Like, when that trailer came out, I saw him, I started screaming a little tiny bit. So that's there. So we know it's coming, but just when it is coming, that's the kind of question that we got to kind of raise and kind of wait for. I mean, I don't mind, because one of those series is that it can take as many time, take as long as it wants, as long as it comes back fully strong and actually better than ever. Don't mind. Just it can take as much time as it wants, because it just I think we've got enough right now to kind of say the wait is serviceable, if you get what I mean, because we've got enough material, we've got enough information to actually kind of go forward with, and it just doesn't kind of feel like as if we're in the dark about anything. We technically don't feel as if there's any plot points kind of flying around like at the moment, because it kind of felt as if certain things that we needed answered were answered, and also certain plot points that kind of would need to be resolved kind of felt a little bit more resolved than usual. Kind of like, yeah. So what we got is amazing, because now we don't technically have too much to worry about for the future, because I mean, I ain't gonna forget most of the events in this in this arc at all, because it's one of those things that the Rakuyo arc is actually kind of one of my favorite ones of the whole entire series, I must say. Like, it kind of feeds into my top 3, I would say. That's why I kind of sit at about top 3 of the whole entire series, because it just does everything perfectly. Because it really was the quintessential arc, because that's what I kind of feel. I kind of feel it as the quintessential arc. It was one of those arcs that was needed, because how it kind of presented everything. That's what I liked about it. It kind of felt as if you knew why it was there. Like, you knew why they went there. You knew why they were fighting. You knew where the characters were, where they are now, and how they progressed. Like, it's amazing because of it, because it's one of those ones that you just kind of respected because of that on its own. But yeah, I mean, all in all, can't argue with Gintama, because I think, to be honest, I think I've actually spoken enough for the whole entire series of me kind of live commentarying / reviewing this whole entire series as a whole. I've kind of actually spoken about why I love the series to bits, and how the kind of arc itself has really just kind of become one of my favorites. I think I've covered it for the whole entire review series. So I actually really should just kind of grab all the reviews and just kind of put them into one mesh thing, just because I believe all the kind of good things lie in there. I think this one actually kind of allows me to kind of sum up everything and allow me to kind of say, yeah, it was all worth it. It was one of the things I just kind of just loved it. So yeah, I mean, all in all, hopefully everyone has enjoyed my kind of different take on what I did originally, because I know I reviewed Gintama originally on its own. I kind of just didn't do any live reactions. I just did reviews. So hopefully this whole entire new like format is kind of better than it was beforehand. Hopefully you did actually enjoy it, because I did actually freaking loved it. Like, I didn't love the fact I was crying quite often. Because I didn't imagine I'd be crying this often. I thought 2015, you know what, you probably just kill my emotions with Gintama. I probably won't be kind of crying that much throughout the whole entire rest of the series, but no, this one kind of affects me even more. So I'm actually kind of surprised. So hopefully I covered everything that needed to be covered. Hopefully everything that felt genuine. Hopefully I did actually kind of, I didn't feel as if I kind of took anything out of what I did originally. Hopefully, what I brought to the table actually added to what I did originally. That's what I kind of hope, because I believe that's what I've done. So, I mean, all in all, hopefully everyone's actually enjoyed this series, because I've loved every single second of it. I just love covering the series so much, because it's just one of those series I can just talk about for forever and just never get bored of it, because it's just so freaking phenomenal. Like, everything about it, you can pick apart one scene and spend about 15 minutes on it, just because there's so much going on, and just the characters as well. They breathe so much that you just kind of like, I mean, Obero. I was calling Nobro. I was like, I feel goddamn bad now. I feel like a complete asshole. I was like, oh no, don't do that to me, because now I feel like an asshole. I do. So I've got to call him Misunderstood Obero now, because he was pretty much that. Like, he too lost Shoyo. It's kind of like, man, and it's just that last scene with him, like, amongst them. It broke you, because he could have become like them, or in that group. It kind of felt depressing, because it would have been so nice to kind of see him there. And it's even that last scene with Shoyo as well, like, before everything happened, it even came back there. Like, he just said, I would love you to become one of them, like, I would have loved for you to be there like them. It's kind of like, yeah, it would have been beautiful to see, because it would have been so magical just to see him there, because he's one of those characters who's actually very interesting. He's actually got a fascinating backstory, and where you actually kind of saw him where he was beforehand and where he is now, it's actually kind of fascinating. Same thing with pretty much every single character in the series. Like, every single character, even the kind of more, like, I would say underground characters, each kind of possess something that's fascinating. Like, they all kind of feel as if they're warranted there. I mean, we got even some more backstory on my boy Sakamoto. I was like, you know what? Can't argue with this series at all. More information on him, can't argue. But one thing I do want to say, I do apologize for my lack of kind of covering the series as the weeks went on. Is because a lot of the time I had too much work going on that I couldn't actually almost sacrifice doing the work to kind of cover anything else, because I've kind of felt as if I did all my work first and actually kind of got all done with, then I can actually come back to do this and actually kind of cover this, because again, this is one of my favorite series to cover, so I do want to kind of come back in full health for everything to actually kind of cover it like the best I can possibly do. That's why I kind of took a break from it for quite a while, because I believed if I got enough work done, I can come back in full force and actually kind of cover it. And I did. I think how I did it was actually pretty well done. I do apologize I wasn't there on every single week, because I believe that, because the one week I do regret not covering it was the one where all four of them came together. I regretted that one, because it would have been so freaking great. But yeah, I mean, hopefully just the coming season, that maybe, because I believe after April 4th, I'm actually kind of free for a bit, so I actually might be able to do some more things. Might just be able to get my life back. It's just not sitting down typing all day, because after a while, kind of gets to you. So yeah, all in all, hope you guys have enjoyed this whole entire series. Hope you have enjoyed me rambling on about my love for Gintama and everything else in between, and hopefully you enjoyed this slight ramble about why I wasn't there to cover it, and how I do apologize for it. But yes, hopefully you have enjoyed the stream. If you have enjoyed the stream as a whole, and you do want to leave a like, then do leave a like, because indeed it does help quite a bit. If you have enjoyed what I do here, and you want to stay that little bit longer, then do leave a sub, because indeed it does help you quite a bit. But until the time when Gintama comes back for the final time, I have been a driver. See you guys later.